this is Noggin, and I am going to talk to you about smart casting. Actually, it's called quick casting now. It used to be called smart casting versus normal casting. So I'm going to show you a little demonstration of this. So right now, through the generous help of these bots, I am now level 3. And I have one in all my abilities. One's a skill shot. One is an ally shot that can be an ally spell that can be cast on yourself or one of your allies. And one is a spell that can be cast upon an enemy, but it's not a skill shot. So right now, all my spells are basically set to be normal casting. You can see them here. They're all normal cast. And they, except for one of my equipment items, they're basically the standard setup, and I need to get away from Nasus. He's not wanting me to do my demo. He has to stay away from me. Ooh, he really doesn't want me to do a demo. Alright, nice new Nasus graphics. So anyway, let's start with a skill shot. So right now this is normal. So if I hit Q, I've hit Q and I've released it, and I end up having my skill shot targeting, and then I right-click to shoot it. Now if I left-click to shoot it. If I right-click, I actually cancel it. So we'll show you here. So let's say I got it, and if I right-click, I've canceled it, but I haven't moved. Okay. So, hey, skill shot. That's the normal skill shot. It's the normal default when you start playing this game. So W is a single target spell. So if I click it, I now have a targeting reticule. And if I pick an enemy, I will walk to them. Hello, come back, enemy. Evil Tristana bot, come back here. So I'm walking to her, and I will cast it the moment I get there. Right? So there we go. So that's that. Just like the skill shot, if I actually right-click while I'm in my targeting mode, I cancel it. So we'll show you here in a second. So there we go. We go to Nasus. We say Tristana. We clicked it. We're moving to get it within range to cast it, but we just move and we just dispel it. And then the last ability is a spell I can cast on my allies. So again, if I click it, I now have a targeting reticule, pick my ally, and hey, they have a shield now. Okay, and I can also cast that on myself, and I'll show you that in a second here. So these are always, every spell, okay, so we have it, cast it on myself, alright? And I'll also show you one more thing with that, which is, click it. And if I left-click in the middle of nowhere, there's no target, I do not cast it on anything. Okay, so I'm in this mode, and then I right-click to cancel it. Okay, so that is normal casting. That's the way that the main spells run when you just start the game. Now, let's change everything to quick cast. And we'll make sure that we don't have that checked, because that comes in a moment. If we say quick cast all, we'll see that these little buttons have become lit. So now these are quick cast. So what happens now, so first my Q, the skill shot. If I press Q, I throw the skill shot. That's a quick cast. And so if we go W, so right now, for example, W, I need a target. The skill shot needs a direction. So wherever my mouse is facing is the direction it goes in. Okay. But W actually needs to target an enemy. And you see, if I don't have an enemy under my cursor, nothing happens. But if I say, hey, I put my cursor over Nasus and then click it, then I cast the spell on him. And if he's out of range, I'll move within range. So basically, if you think about that spell needs both to know that you want to cast the spell, it needs to know who you want to cast it on. And since the quick cast casts immediately, it basically says, well, who are you going to cast it on? Well, it looks underneath your mouse, just like that. I just click the button again. I'm running to Tristana to cast it on. Okay. The E is the same. It's trying to cast. I'm pressing E. It's trying to cast. There's no target. Oh, hey, look, Tarek. Whoop, I missed him. Tarek. There we go. There we go. I walked up to him and I cast it on him. However, a dilemma that you have with quick cast. So this is that's quick cast on its own. And a dilemma you have with quick cast is that you actually need to really know the range of your spells. Because if you're out of range of that minion and you want a skill shot, oh, well, I was in range, so maybe I secretly really know the range of her spell. But if you're out of range, then you just miss. You have no way to know. So let me show you what I believe is the best way to do quick cast. And the reason to do quick cast is it allows you to play the game faster. But I have seen high-level players on their live streams selectively not use quick cast for important spells. Like they would turn off quick cast for, say, like I watched Froggen's live stream once, a European, very phenomenal European mid laner, and he was playing Fizz, and he turned off quick cast for Fizz's ultimate, basically to respect that he didn't want to accidentally miss his ultimate, right? He wanted to be very, very conscious and very deliberate about casting his ultimate, which is a skill shot. Because if you miss it, you're just like, what did I just do? So anyway, but let's now improve quick casting. And what we do is we go down to the bottom of the thing and we say display range indicators when using quick cast. So what is this? Well, normally with quick casting, what happened is when you press the Q, it fired the spell. But now it actually fires the spell when you release the Q. And when you hold down the Q, you see the targeting information. So right now, I'm holding down Q. If I right-click, I cancel it. I've just released Q. I'm holding down Q. I release Q. I throw the spell. So with the quick cast, with that checkbox, and the checkbox name is display range indicators when using quick cast. With that checkbox, you can actually get all the functionality you had with a normal cast, but you can basically play the game faster and with more dexterity. Now, what it means is where the interface was not slowing you down before, you actually need to learn to slow down. Because if you're just walking around and you see a bad guy, you go, oh my god, and you just throw your spell, and you miss them, that was because you threw your spell too fast. But it does give you the ability to throw a spell that fast. It's really important, especially in situations where you're running away from someone or they're running away from you, to be able to quickly toss a spell at them. So right now, we have the range indicator set on. So, first the Q, the skill shot. I hold down the mouse key. When I release it, it casts, right? Let us find an enemy. Where are you, enemies? Let's go and harass Malzahar. While we're on the way, we'll look at the E. So the E is... oh, there's Tristana. She showed up again. What was going to allow my demo. So right now, W. So W needs a target. It's not a skill shot. When I hold down the key, I see the targeting. When I release it, nothing happens because my mouse cursor is not over anything. So what happens is you basically say, well, who is your mouse cursor over, excuse me, when you release it? So I hover over assets, I release it, I go forward to cast the spell. Right? The same thing with the E. So this is the spell I cast on allies. I hold down the key, and I get the targeting information. I release it, but there's no viable target. But if I hold it down and then release it over Sivir, I cast it on Sivir. We'll let that cast, and we'll let that go by in a second here. So it recharges. And so in the same thing, this is a spell I can cast on myself, which is important to know for this next thing I'm going to explain. So I hold it down, hover over myself, release it, and I cast. So now here's the thing. So that spell, if it's over, if my mouse cursor is over an ally or myself, when I release it, it casts on them, and that's when I have quick cast set up. And so right now it's not over anybody. I release it, nothing happens. But there's one more setting that we can do, and this is the most extreme setting you can do for your spells. And so that is the E spell. That is spell number 3. So we'll go down to Quick Cast and SelfCast, because this is a beneficial spell. This spell is, you'll see, Quick Cast and SelfCast is now E. And if we look again at the hotkeys, when we go up to the top, we'll see that E is missing here, because this is really just for showing normal cast and quick cast, and now we've done a different setting, so this is not defined. You can see all the others are set to quick cast, where they have little quick cast buttons turned on. So anyway, now we have a situation where this one spell, now this spell is a shield, so this spell now, this actually can be cast on minions, so we'll just use a minion here. I hold down E, and I target an ally. I let go, and it casts on them. Okay? So that's just the way quick cast works normally. We'll let it do its cooldown here. I hold down E, and I target over myself, and I release. Again, the shield casts on me. So, again, that's just the way quick cast happens normally. However, now I hold it down and I have no one targeted, and I release, and it casts on me because this is a combination of quick cast and self cast. So it basically says when you release the key, or if you don't have the range indicator checkbox set up, but I think it behooves people to have that set up. When you release the key, then you basically cast under the target of your cursor, and if there is no viable target, you cast on yourself. Now, of course, it relies having a spell that can cast on yourself, which is why I picked Karma, because Karma is nice in that she has a skill shot, a spell cast on enemies, and a spell cast on allies that can be cast on herself. So this is the way I normally run. I run with most of my spells actually set it to be quick and self-cast, but it does create scenarios where you have to be cautious about how you cast your spells, because let's say you are trying to heal an ally, or let's say Sivir's in a bind. We're in a huge team fight, and I'm like, oh my goodness, Sivir's going to die. I have my shield. I'm trying to throw it on her, and she's just running away because she's so intent on killing someone with her new, recently rebuilt stats. And we're in the middle of a fight, and I'm saying, okay, Sivir needs help, and I hover over here, but I miss her, and I try to shield her, and I've shielded myself accidentally, right? So that is the problem. Now, there's two solutions. One is to just, well, there's a couple solutions. One is you could selectively make that spell not a cast on self spell, if you wanted to ensure that you never accidentally cast on yourself. But a lot of times those spells are really handy, because if you're running, you don't want to target yourself, you just want to click the button and have it apply to yourself. The other is, of course, to just develop the dexterity to just hit them. But the other thing is, when you have a spell you can cast on allies and yourself, you can actually cast it on these portraits over here, which, obviously, if you reach over for them and you overreach, you'll scroll your screen. And it takes some tuning of the screen scroll speed to get a feel that doesn't disrupt you. If it's too sensitive and you overshoot, you'll basically throw your camera all the way out of the combat. But in this case, what you have is you say, okay, well, we're in the middle of a hectic combat. I see Annie's low, but I don't want to try to pick her out of the masses. I will go over here and press E, and it will cast on her. So that's another solution that you can have for that. But anyway, so that is the summary of the different quick cast settings, explaining how I use them and why I use certain ones. And definitely play with them. Set up your configurations the way you like, and see you in game.